noticed I'm in the car, and I really wanted to get this done because if I don't, I feel like it's gonna weigh on my mind. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, my name is Nicole. I am a mother, an adoptive mom, a foster mom. I'm a teacher, a lover of all things natural hair. I just love to share about my life, things going on, different topics that come up. I wanted to share a topic in foster care that I feel like is kind of overlooked, and I was going to do this a while ago and I kind of just did not know how to begin. And the topic is advocating. When you become a foster parent, I feel like you were told over and over again that you are here to advocate for this child, you're here to advocate for the bio family, and make sure that everyone is getting what they need. And it's so crazy because, I recently had a situation and I was like, but who advocates for the foster families? This came about because I finally attended my first support group. Now, I've been a foster parent for 3 years, and I've never went to a support group, and that is because I started fostering during COVID, and things were just not going during this time. And so I finally went to my first support group, and the consensus around the table, even though we all come from different organizations that work with families and do fostering, the same thing kept coming up, was that we're not getting a lot of support when it comes to taking on a child and their trauma and different things like that. We're basically told, here's this child, anything you need, we will help you. And as soon as the child is dropped off, it's like, this is your problem, this is what you signed up for. And it makes it really hard when you are a foster family and you just want to help, or connected to the foster community anyway. You might just be a volunteer, you might be, a friend or a family member of somebody who's fostering, and to offer your services and then say, I need help, and be told, I can't help you, it's disheartening. And it's even worse when you're told to ask for help, But I recently took in my 4th foster placement. I've had 4 total over the last 3 years, and all of my placements have lasted pretty long. If you're not familiar, at least with my area, when you take in a child, the family gets a year to work services. If they need an extension, the court or the judge can grant an extension, but most of the time, within a year, my placements have left. My first 2 placements left after 8 months and a year. My 3rd placement is the child that I adopted, and the 4th placement was pretty recent. And with this 4th placement, I was not given any information, even though I asked. And then once they dropped the child off, I got a plethora of information the day she was dropped off, which made it really hard because I wasn't completely prepared. And if I'm a single foster parent with a 2-year-old, and they brought me a 3-year-old with extreme behaviors, extreme trauma that was not indicated before, because they say, well, the case is just about this, so the child shouldn't have a lot of issues. Right off the bat, I noticed, and I am a deaf education and special education teacher, and I started noticing things within the first 48 hours. And I was like, this is going to take a lot of my teacher instincts to be able to help this child in the way that I can. And I started contacting her worker. So if you're unfamiliar, foster care, at least in my area, I have a FAD worker. It is the worker that comes and checks on me, make sure I have everything I need, make sure my home's in compliance. Then you have a conservatorship worker, which is the child's worker. They check on the child, they work the case, they work with the bio family and all parts of the child's case. Yes, worker. Did not give me much information. I reached out and I'm like, I'm really needing help, because as a single parent, a child that has severe trauma and behaviors and needs, it takes a lot out of you. And I felt like I was neglecting my own child in the process. I had to call my mom at one point at 12:30 at night, and I'm like, I need you, because I had this child who's breaking down, having this tantrum, and then my own child is asleep across the house and he can hear it, and so then he needs me. And it became really stressful, and I was reaching out, I was getting nothing. And so I would reach out to my FAD worker, and she was like, haven't said anything, they haven't called. Oh my God. I was actually a little baffled by the lack of information. And when a child comes in care, if they're 3 or older, they're supposed to get what's called a CANS assessment. And this little girl had one, and I did not get any of that information. I asked multiple times. I even texted the CVS worker and the FAD worker together so that the FAD worker knew I was not getting what I needed. And it's supposed to help give you background information on this child that you know nothing about, so that you could be able to deal with different things that come up, tips, different things like that. If the child needs therapy, it'll let you know. I got 1-page report, and it said nothing of importance. I even showed it to my FAD worker, and she was like, what is this? And I'm sharing this because while we're advocating for the families, I want to advocate for foster families, because we need people, but we have to be realistic about what's going on, because I would never want to lead anyone into this community blindly. And so I kept pushing the issue, kept advocating, even advocating for the little girl while advocating for myself and saying, I need support, I need help. You know, as a single parent, I can't do this if there's not going to be support given, tips, strategies, information, anything. I literally cannot do this. So, you know, I reached out to the FAD worker, and I'm like, I do not want to disrupt this placement because this child has been bounced around and it is not fair to her. But what I am saying is I can't handle this, and you all are giving me nothing to work with. And I also told them, from what I'm seeing, this child needs a lot of intervention and therapy. There's something more happening than what we've been told. And then I was told, oh, well, this happened at this home too. Well, that was never given to me. No tips were given. Like I said before in a vlog, they gave me likes, dislikes, and triggers. And that was about it. But the list of triggers just kept growing day to day. And so, you know, I'm telling them this child needs 2 parents because she really needs a lot of attention. She needs a home where there's no other children, because I was noticing her need for attention was outweighing what I could possibly do with 2 children in my home. And so I was having to send my son away so that I could tend to her, and it was just completely draining. So I kept saying, you know, something has to happen. I got no communication from the CVS worker for like a week, even after I requested information. And it got to the point where I said, this is not fair to this little girl. This is not fair to my son, and it's not fair to me. I was running off of fumes, and I literally was feeling like I was going to have a mental breakdown at any moment. And so that is when I contacted my FAD worker and the caseworker, and I said, I'm going to have to put in 30 days. So if you don't know, in my area, if you are not going to be able to keep a child, you have to give them 30 days, and it's called disrupting a placement, which they do not want to do. And, you know, they try to talk me out of it. They said, you know, if things get better after the 30 days, you cannot change your mind. And basically saying, you know, she's been bounced around. We don't want to keep bouncing her, which I felt bad, and I almost changed my mind about it. But I said to myself, you didn't give me what I needed to be successful with this, and you're still not giving it to me, so I don't feel bad because this is not on me. And I feel horrible about disrupting placement, but I also was not able to give that little girl what she needed. So this whole spill is to say, advocate for the child, see what they need, and don't back up on it. Don't give up on it. I was consistent at saying, this is what she needs, this is what I need, this is what she needs, this is what I need. And when I did not get what I needed, I had to put myself and my family first and disrupt the placement. And that is when information started coming, and they would call and check on me every day, even though I can't change my mind after putting in the 30 days. So advocate for yourself to get what you need, but also ask more questions in the beginning, which is something I absolutely did not do. I asked questions, and I didn't push the issue when I didn't get the info I needed, and I just accepted what they gave me. But advocating is so important for yourself, for your family, because CPS's goal is to get a child into a safe home where they can stay throughout the duration. But sometimes they're overworked, sometimes they are just trying to place a child, and they don't assess the situation to see, is this foster family the right placement? They sometimes just go with, it's open, let me put this child here. And so if I did not advocate for my family, there's no telling what kind of lasting trauma it would have had on my son, because he was also like in distress when she would have these breakdowns. At one point I was holding him and she was having a tantrum, and he was watching her hit and kick and bite and fight me, which I did not feel like that was fair to him. So definitely advocating for yourself, knowing what you're getting into, I feel like is fair. I met some families who were having these same kind of issues, and they did not feel like they were being supported in this. And it sucks to not feel supported when all you want to do is help, and you can't do anything outside of CPS. Like, they want you to use their people, they want you to follow their recommendations, and you do that, but sometimes it just doesn't work. So I want to encourage current foster families, prospective foster families, people who volunteer and just help. It's okay to advocate for yourself. It is okay to put yourself first and your family first. We're definitely going to take a break after this, because this was a very physically and emotionally challenging placement, and I want to give my son time to process this loss, because you know he did have somebody with him for almost a month, and then this person just disappeared, and he went room to room looking for her. He saw her car seat and kept pointing like, where is she? So we will be taking time, but I did just want to have this moment of share to let you know that it is okay. Every placement does not work out. You're not for everybody. Everybody's not for you. Everybody's not always going to mesh. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say you can't handle it. And I felt so guilty for saying that I couldn't handle it. But if I couldn't handle it and I'd continued, it would have only done more damage to the little girl, because she wouldn't have gotten what she needed. It would have done damage to me and my family as well, and continue to put an emotional and mental strain on us. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share about today. If you like this kind of content, please like this video, comment down below if you've had similar experiences. I hope that I can share more videos like this, just about the ups and downs and the highs and lows of fostering, so that people can go into this truly knowing what they're getting into, with their eyes wide open, and knowing how to be successful in this. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one.